Good day, I'm Samantha Allen and this is your JIS News for Friday, February 14. The IMF mission to Jamaica has confirmed that the country has passed the third quarterly test under the Extended Fund Facility. Head of mission, Yankees Martin, told reporters in Kingston Thursday that Jamaica met all quantitative targets and structural benchmarks for the October to December period.
The execution of the government budget for 2013-14 has been broadly on track, notwithstanding shortfalls in tax revenues, owing in particular to weak domestic demand. Overall, policy implementation under the program remains strong.
Mr. Martin said the IMF board could review the staff level assessment by the end of March, and if accepted, about $71 million more would be disbursed to Jamaica. In the meantime, Finance Minister Dr. Peter Phillips outlined some of the major issues to be dealt with going forward.
Issues of the design of the macro framework, the design and implementation of the fiscal rule, tax reform and tax administration, and most importantly, the issue of accelerating economic growth.
Meanwhile, head of the UWI Department of Economics, Dr. Damian King, has commended government for undertaking the current economic reform program, saying it's a critical element to economic growth. Dr. King was addressing a recent forum hosted by the University of the West Indies Department of Economics.
The fiscal reform is the critical element in a program of economic growth, and it alone has the potential to move us towards a trajectory of economic growth. So the calls for a separate growth agenda are at best sort of missing the main point of the problem that we have.
Tax, pension and public sector reform are critical elements of the government's growth agenda. Legislation to strengthen the tax collection, banking and business sectors, as well as a plan to reduce the national debt to sustainable levels, also form part of the initiative. In other news, work began this week on the permanent restoration and reconstruction of road infrastructure in St.MARY and Portland that were damaged after heavy rainfall in January. Transport, Works and Housing Minister Dr. Omar Davies told Parliament on Tuesday that the total estimated cost for the restorative work was $197 million.
Being acutely aware of limited fiscal space, my ministry has had to find ways to finance the restorative works without seeking additional resources from the Ministry of Finance.
He said Cabinet had approved a drawdown of $147 million from the Road Maintenance Contingency Fund to execute the project. Another $50 million has been temporarily reallocated from the Tourism Enhancement Fund. Prime Minister Portia Simpson-Miller has pledged the government's continued support for education. She was speaking Wednesday as the Jamaica Teachers Association honored Patrick Smith, a veteran educator for 46 years.
The government and the Jamaica Teachers Association are at one in our commitment to quality education. Our children's future is too important for us not to work together.
Government through the Jamaica Anti-Doping Commission, JADCO, is making good on its commitment to offer more support to junior athletes on doping rules. JADCO collaborated with the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association, J3A, this week to host the first in a series of junior athletes anti-doping workshops. Representatives of the two organizations and medical practitioners talked with school-aged athletes from Kingston, St. Andrew and St. Thomas about banned substances and the doping control process. They were also briefed on the role of JADCO, the World Anti-Doping Agency WADA, and the Jamaica Anti-Doping Program. Minister with responsibility for sport, Natalie Nita Headley, underscored the importance of this type of intervention.
We all know that we did not arrive where we are as a people of sporting dominance in the world because we were involved in doping. We all know that we are a blessed nation with immeasurable talent. We have a duty to ourselves to preserve that legacy by ensuring that every athlete is educated and made aware of the rules governing fair play.
The recently appointed chairman of JADCO, R. Danny Williams, echoed her, urging for the young athletes to double-check with JADCO before taking any medicine or supplement, despite the advice of their coaches or trainers. And that's it for JIS News today. I'm Samantha Allen. Thanks for watching.